You are in a meeting. Someone hesitates before speaking. The room goes quiet for a moment, and almost immediately, someone fills the silence. That moment is where the emotional intelligence of ours shows up in everyday business conversations. Most people think emotional intelligence shows up when emotions are visible. In leadership, it usually shows up when nothing is said and pressure is quietly present. You have seen it in your regular business meetings, conversations, leadership conversations. You have seen a pause, a hesitation, someone starting with, "This might be wrong," or "I'm not sure, but." In those moments, leadership often shifts without us noticing. Emotional intelligence is not staying calm, it is not being nice, and it is not about understanding emotions. Those things can matter, but they are not what shapes how people respond to you. Emotional intelligence shows up in what you do next when the room feels slightly uncomfortable. It shows up when someone hesitates, when a thought is half formed, when silence lasts a second longer than expected. Low emotional intelligence rushes to explain, reassure, or move the conversation on. Not because leaders do not care, but because silence feels awkward. High emotional intelligence does something quieter. It stays. Take an example of a recent conversation. Someone might have said, "This might be a stupid question." And before they finish, the conversation moves on. The decision is clarified, the pace increases, the meeting feels efficient. Nothing feels wrong, but something small just closed. The person who was about to speak decides it is not safer, or it is rather safer not to. When hesitation is rushed past, people adopt. They share less, they soften their thinking, they stop testing ideas out loud. Not because they lack insight, but because the space disappears quickly. When we move too fast, we do not lose an idea. We do not just lose an idea. We teach people when not to speak. Emotional intelligence is the ability to stay relational, to relate to it when pressure appears. It is simply noticing the moment when choice is still available and not narrowing it too quickly. Often, nothing more is required than staying present a few seconds longer. Here is today's one daily action. In one conversation today, notice the first moment of hesitation in the room. It could be a pause, a half-finished sentence, phrases like "I might be wrong" or "just saying." Do you know what is actually happening in the pauses of your conversations? When that moment appears, resist the urge to explain, reassure, or move on. Stay with the silence, one breath longer than usual. Watch what happens to the trust in the room when you stop rushing. What do they tell you that they were not going to say? That pause keeps the conversation open. Long enough for trust and real thinking to surface. Notice what happens next. Thank you.